6 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Why don't we go ahead and say the pledge? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Mr. Miro, if you can call the roll, please.
Shelley Flucci.
Here.
Terry Loud.
Here.
Amy White.
Here.
Elizabeth Johnson.
Here.
Brian Bagwell.
Here. And the first item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from our July 12th special meeting. Did anybody have any corrections, adjustments, questions? See, as there's none, I will entertain a motion to accept.
I'll move.
Terry moves.
Second.
Liz seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Nero, financial report?
Yeah, I provided the cash reconciliation, the cash summary, the disbursement report, revenue summary, appropriation summary, then the yearly cash projection. The yearly cash projection is based on the May forecast fiscal year 23 numbers. Those will get updated. Talk a little bit about it on treasurer's notes, but there'll be some changes in revenues and expenses as we get closer to the 5-year forecast in October, November time frame as we work on appropriations. And I just want to mention the tax advances that have been coming in since the end of July. The real estate taxes were due August 5th, so the auditor's office will be doing distributed advances all the way through September 2nd. Then once they get the settlement from the treasurer, county treasurer, well, we're going to find settlement. You guys know how that turns out. So if you guys have any questions on that.
Any questions? We have a motion to accept the financial report.
I'll move.
Amy moves.
I'll second.
Shelley seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And move on to new business.
Okay, being that it is open house for many buildings, tonight we do have Don Farron, our athletic director.
The athletic news, boys ball, I mean, everybody knows this is the time of the year where it's crazy around here, with everything starting, official practices, contests, so it's a busy time right now. But our boys golf team, I just want to, fill you in on the teams that have started and the teams who want to start. Our boys golf, they have started their season and they're currently 4-1. They do host an NEA quad tomorrow with Jefferson, Lakeview, and Poland at Mill Creek at 2:30. Our girls golf team, they opened the season. They were in a try with Niles and Gerard, and they were within 12 shots of winning. So it was a very good thing for our girls golf team. Since we're starting that up, the exciting news with the girls golf team is since we have now separated them from our boys, we have had 3 more girls join, and we are now up to 8 girl golfers on that team. Girls soccer, they open up their season. I would like to call this Springfield Week. Hopefully next year, if they continue to play us in football, which we're really hoping they are, but it's up in the air right now. Their side, not our side. But we'd like to do a whole week leading up to the football game as the Springfield game. But girls soccer, they open up tomorrow night at home at 7 o'clock versus Springfield. Our boys opens up Monday night. They're up at YSU, and they JV starts at 5, varsity starts at 7. Middle school and high school cross country teams, they both open their seasons up on Saturday the 27th. The middle school is going to the Salem Early Bird, while the high school team will run in the Glen Oak Invitational. High school volleyball team, they open up their season this Saturday with a try match. Both gyms will be going at 10 a.m. We open up at 10 with West Branch, and we play 12 o'clock. We play against Southeast. Middle school volleyball will open their season up on Monday at Niles. Middle school football was an odd season opener this year. Trying to get games in with teams who have full teams, 7th and 8th grade, and teams who don't even have any. We are opening up this year on this Saturday at home, and we're playing West Branch at 10 a.m. Varsity football, they're opening up their defense of the two-time NEA championship and 20-game regular season win streak this Thursday. Not a Friday, it's Thursday at 7 p.m. That's the athletic roundup.
I'd like to commend Donnie and his crew. We did something different this year. He had all the parents here at the school for fall sports. Had a nice meeting with parents, and then all the coaches were here that kind of met with their teams, made sure paperwork was collected, fees were paid. It was just this huge collaborative effort. We had passes being sold, blackout shirts being sold. It was just a really big event, and it went very well. A few more people collecting fees next year will help, but the whole
Yeah, I
event,
mean, I think right now we have outstanding 7 through 12. I think we have 10 people that we need to collect activity fees from. So that's a huge difference over what we carried over from last year.
watching the parents meet with the coaches and be able to talk with the coaches, and the coaches had their own meeting as well, all at the same time. It was really nice. So,
One of the big things that I wanted to have that meeting for, like coaches always have their own little meetings, but they're, you know, we're part of the NEA conference, and one of the things that they really are, you know, harping on this year is spectator behavior. And, you know, that was a huge issue that I talked about in the meeting, was if you are a spectator and you get thrown out, you are not permitted to go home or away contest for 10% of that season. And we have to follow that. I mean, as a school district, we really need to, you know, follow what the NEA, you know, conference says, because we are part of it. We, you know, we're an eighth of it, but we have to do what's best, you know, for the conference and the other 7 schools.
okay, Mr. Pagnotta, anything from you?
We're ready to go. We're handing out Chromebooks tonight. We'll a little bit of check on our progress, but so far so good. Everything's going well. The school is, the facility's ready. If you look around, everything's being put back and ready for opening day.
The building looks great. Computers have all been kind of cleaned and checked and made sure they're all ready to go. So its crews worked really hard all summer. My update, I mean, we know I did my one call, so I got out most of the important things. In regards to the safety grant, we did send forth, we had to do an application that we do want the money that is allocated. Just to let our public know, it was an allocation. We had wrote a grant last fall trying to get this money. Unfortunately, the funds weren't there. Now that the funds are there, this is the money that we did request. The majority of it, I'd say about 75% of what I sought to try to receive. So we're going to look at, you know, exterior protections, some fencing, updating some of our door locks, our key fobs, and different security things that we did identify from the peace and safety meeting were a priority to start with. I do want to make a note for our community so they are aware. We have a full-time SRO as well as another one that's here between 4 and 5 hours throughout the day. So for majority of the physical school day, it's almost 2 full-time SROs that are here, and that is, you know, just making sure our community is aware. I know everybody knows who Brian Hartman is, Officer Hartman is, but we do have a second line officer, Cassidy is another one. So that's been a really good addition. With everything starting, just reminding our parents that, you know, it's the beginning of the year. Be patient with the school buses. Be out there early. Be patient with them getting home a little later than what we maybe think their kids are going to be coming home to. But talk to the administration. They're ready to go. Ready to start our first day of school. Friday, teachers come back, and we're going to do a big presentation on honoring the teachers, their years of service, as well as focusing on the positive behavior and interventions, and kind of revamp what was started before COVID so that we can get back together. They had a lot of reward programs and different things started prior to COVID. They're excited to get back to that, so the teachers are going to working on that day as well. So everything's going good. Once I have better times for band and cheerleading, I'll put it on Facebook so people can go to the fair and watch them at the fair. I do believe we're the next to the last for the band, so it'll be later in the day. But once I get those, I'll put those out. Yeah.
Okay. I think I can safely speak for everyone here on the board. Just appreciate all the work that staff, administration, teachers, everybody. I mean, it's a full-time deal getting ready to go for another year here. It seems like everybody's well prepared. Really
appreciate that.
Yeah, sorry, I did forget that, legislative Liz was gonna bring some.
It's basically what you just said. I had Governor DeWine release details related to allocating $100 million from the K-12 school safety grant program. Recently authorized in House Bill 687. Nearly $47 million will be distributed to the schools that applied for the program, as you said, from last year.
Anything come across for students?
Okay, with that being done, we can move into the agenda items.
As we did the last meeting with payment in lieu of, and if you recall last year, as they come in from families, I then put them on the board agenda. So these are just additional individuals that we were waiting to hear from for payment in lieu of. Educational service contract, the Title III English Learners Consortium contract is a separate one because it is just a small support that we have to go into a collaboration with the county. So we do get some federal funding and it immediately goes to them for helping oversight for us with the Title III students. So any student comes into our district who is assessed and qualifies for English as a second language tutoring support, this contract helps support us from the county with that. Teacher evaluation with Ms. Lewis retiring and Jacqueline DeCivio coming on. I need to again approve Jacqueline as an Ohio teacher evaluator. She will be working with the special education teachers just like Sherry did. Robotics team, every year, because they're a club sport, we need to renew that we approve that we have a South Range High School robotics team. Aaron Burns, Jeff Burns, Nikki Cardinal will continue to be the volunteer advisors. And then because this is a club and this is all volunteers, the financial side of it, Steve Rowan oversees and helps with all the purchases and paying all the things that need to be paid for robotics. MOU for the SRCEA, every year we do a transportation lead maintenance. If you recall last meeting, we talked about how we do so much of our work in-house. So by approving this MOU with them, this gives the transportation lead, it's Jim Terry, and he helps out on site doing all the repairs here, so we're not sending him out for service. MOU between SREA and the board. This is, we realize, we now have 2 part-time employees and we really had nothing in our contract in reference to how they're paid. So we added this MOU is to support the part-time employees that are hired in our contract. Transportation handbook. We've been slowly working on putting things in place, and I thank Mario because he gave me an example of one, and I worked with Brenda Hammond, and we generated this. This is a good asset for our transportation department. A lot of our security stuff that they have in their handbook is for what could happen during the day. So this handbook's really for them on their bus, and emergencies on their bus. It's totally different than how we deal with it here, as well as some various other things. We also updated some of the other forms that they use, so we kind of did an overhaul of our transportation information.
So establishing unclaimed money funds, they're just, when I started this amounts, any checks that have been cashed on the report, so just a matter of moving to this fund. After 5 years, if it's not claimed, it go back to
We already did the Spirit Club, but there are a couple, now that everybody's here and they're getting their emails, I sent out another email. So we do have an SR Soccer Instagram and an SR Cafeteria. So following the exact guidelines that our Spirit Club, just approving that we do have both of those. A couple other teachers had reached out, and after talking with me about the parameters, they just decided our Facebook page and our web page was good enough, and they are deleting. So you might have seen some others. If you see other ones out there, they are not run by our district. These might be boosters or outside organizations that are helping the district, PTOs. We don't oversee those, so that's why only these ones are being approved. Bus title transfer, this is, for Ed Schaefer Jr., this is the bus that we're transferring a title over to him. Bus routes, approve the bus routes for 22-23. Obviously, they will change throughout the year. If students move in or move out, it could change and alter the bus routes. Ms. Hammond and I will always have an updated version. She has the new computer system that we got during COVID, and she's always able to print off a brand new copy if we need it. And that's it for agenda items. Any questions on any of those?
If nobody has any questions, now would be the time we would open up the floor for public participation for agenda items.
Hello, everyone. I have not met Mrs. Colucci or Mrs. Johnson on St. Landry. I'm just here for the South Education Association representative. And I'm going to make it, so I can't send you go. So here I am.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can tell you.
Yes. Well, hey, we got Donnie here. Donnie's not nobody.
No, he's a speaker. He needs some,
Oh, okay.
Servers.
You needed an audience.
so we don't know if anybody actually watches or not.
Yes. Well, there you go.
Thank you for coming, Sam.
Sure.
So, I don't think we have any texts or messages or anything. We have no public participation online.
Not for me.
Anybody got anything? Okay. That being said, we'll go ahead and go through the agenda items. First one, payment in lieu, transportation. We have a motion to approve these people.
So
Amy moves.
I'll second.
Terry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The educational service contract. A motion to approve.
I'll move.
Amy moves.
Second.
Liz seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The Ohio Teacher Evaluation Educator Approval. Liz moves.
I'll second.
Terry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The approval for the robotics team for the 22-23 school year.
I'll move.
Uh,
Shelley.
Shelley moves.
Second.
Liz seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The MOU for the transportation lead maintenance for Jim Terry.
I'll move.
Terry moves.
I'll second.
Amy seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The MOU between the SREA and the SRBOE regarding the part-time employees.
I'll move.
Amy moves.
I'll second.
Shelley seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The approval of the transportation handbook. Liz moves.
I'll second.
Terry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The establishment of the unclaimed money fund.
I'll move.
Shelley moves.
I'll second.
Terry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The approval to create the social media accounts for the two clubs listed.
I'll move.
Amy moves.
I'll second. Liz.
Liz seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The bus title transfer for the bus that Mr. Schaefer purchased.
I'll move. I'll second.
So we got Shelley moved. Amy seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The approval of the 22-23 bus routes for the beginning of the year.
I'll move. Second.
Terry moves. Liz seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And that completes the agenda items. So we have opportunity for non-agenda item public participation. I guess we have nobody, so we can go ahead and move on to personnel.
We're doing a really good job of getting our substitute teachers. Many people have reached out to various people to see if they're interested. We're getting a little bigger pool. So one, as I said, we're changing up the daily subs. It'll be 4 days a week. Kelsey Schuster Popa will be joining us as a daily sub at the high school. Then the following will be substitutes for the day, just as needed on call. So we have the list there: Melissa Del Baccio, Patricia Perak, Sue Sawa, Robert Schmidt, Matthew Giambattista, Ray M. McDonald, Jessica Greyer, Rebecca Campbell, Remy Mikan, Sherry Huffnagel, and Jerome Pasquale. And then We are going to have a maternity leave for our speech pathologist, so I cannot thank Jacqueline Sabio enough. Until she found somebody, kept calling. So Deb Sofol will be doing our speech substitute when Ms. Caputo is out. We're going to try to make it 4 days a week for a short amount of time, but if she has to come back for IEPs and whatnot, that's why a little bit higher for those kind of meetings. Approve the itinerant substitutes, Kelly Yeagley for clerical aid in the offices. Also approve, due to Jen Lane leaving, I needed a little bit of office coverage, so Mary Lee Frank came over last week, so that's what that extra 20 hours is. She was working out in the office for us. Lori Lindquist, 4 hours a day as an itinerant substitute in the cafeteria. During COVID, we had 2 people here or an extra person all year, day long. So Lori's just going to be there during the 4 hours of the cafeteria helping out Mr. Foster. Approve Sarah Steppen. I unfortunately missed her when we did the renewal of contracts. So this is her 2-year contract. She's an instructional aide and title support in the building. Patty Ostheimer for 6 additional hours to help the high school counselor. We do this every year, but we just, if not needed, so that's why instead of adding it to her contract, we just do it as needed when she's. So she got a hold of me. She only needs 6 days to help Erica. This is with all the scheduling that's going on, schedule pickups, and all the different reports that need to be run. Salary agreement with Trista Haug and Marnie Toot that we've talked about. And then there's some updates to the athletic football. We have one that's going to be resigning. And then, so David Bazzacco and Alex Dickey, Zane Pridle, and Christopher Patron will be our middle school coaches. So there's updated percentages since we have one leaving. And then I also made a mistake on David Rock when I did him last time because his football's 13. I copied that to the track, so I wanted to update the percentage to be correct. Next year, we will again have Lisa Dato as middle school track. Diane Krumpak is rejoining our middle school assistant track team. Megan Frank, girls golf, 3%. Garrett Frank is going to volunteer as an assistant to help in this transition with more golfers. Jeff DeRose, varsity softball. Drew Farron, softball assistant. Kim Vistos, elementary music. Lauren Pavlansky, Sarah Fischel, and Drew Farron were already approved, but again, just correcting and updating those percentages to make sure they're correct. Transportation, again, being able to do things in-house as needed. If there is need for one of the bus's bodies to repair the actual bonding and all that stuff, Eric Bodine is approved to do it. So we have him comes in-house as needed and does it when the bus needs repaired. And then garage workers throughout the year, Carly Yankowski, Ed Schaefer, Stephen Kappas, Paul Kubik, and Tammy Whitmer. They help with different things. Tammy does help with our training if we have new drivers that are coming. She helps with their hours for training. Volunteer advisors. We have a couple of funds that we do collect money for, SR Inks and Popcorn and more. So this is the approval as Sam McMahon to be a volunteer so that she can actually oversee and request money out of, do requisitions for Popcorn and more. And Michelle Gaya, where we did SR Ink approval, this is approving her with the fund, use of the fund. We have a few resignations, so I want to highlight Jamie Frommel, cafeteria aide. She has, this is effective August 1st, she has decided to leave working in the cafeteria and take on seeking a full-time job out in the workforce. We want to thank her. She kind of took on the job in the cafeteria that nobody wanted, and she always smiled when she was doing it, so we thank her greatly for that. Accept the resignation of Jennifer Lane, Superintendent Secretary EMIS Coordinator, effective August 7th. Wish Jen all the luck as she returns home to Lowville. She will be greatly missed, and we thank her for all the hard work, and I cannot thank her enough for the transition that when I came in here with all the work and behind the scenes stuff she did so I could just focus on making sure COVID was taken care of here. Accept the resignation of Marie Kohler, bus driver, effective August 18th. We thank Marie for all of her years of service. She was a big help in the bus garage during the summer. She was expert at summer reconditioning of the bus seats. We do wish her all the best on her new endeavors. So with that, we do have a few new hires. Paula Lipke will become my new secretary and EMIS coordinator. She's coming to us with many years of experience in the secretarial registration and EMIS world. She will begin effective August 22nd. And then during this transition, because EMIS is the way that we get our state funding reports, it's a huge reporting component. Jen Lane has been working at home at night, behind the scenes, making sure anybody who has come to enroll, I fax it to her, she gets them in at night, communicates with everybody, and she will help transition Paula through to make sure our first reporting period is right, so our funding does not get messed up. So I ask that you approve her to work only up to 20 hours a week for August and September at $25 an hour. And then we'll get that last report in September ready to go. In October, we're good. Paula will be transitioned in. Matthew Furtage as a bus tier 2 driver. We have another driver that's taking his test in another week, I believe it is. And then one more in training. So our bus department's looking pretty good. And that'll be it. Any questions on any of those?
Okay, if there's no questions, again, I'd just like to thank Jamie, Jennifer, and Bree. These three women, just wish you all the best, your future endeavors, and you'll certainly be best. So we appreciate the time you spent here with our kids, and hope that your new endeavors go well. With all the personnel items, if there's no questions, I would entertain a motion to accept that list.
I'll move.
Amy moves.
Second.
Elizabeth seconds. Mr. Neer, if you can call the roll, please.
Amy White,
Yes.
Elizabeth Johnson,
Yes.
Terry Loudon,
Yes.
Sally Calucci,
Yes.
Brian Bagwell.
Yes. Okay, that should conclude our August meeting. We have a motion for adjournment.
I'll motion.
Terry moves.
Second.
Amy seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And thank you, and good luck for the school year.